Protein, protein, protein. I feel like this is all we hear about right now, but it's for a good reason. Protein makes up 15 to 20% of your total body weight, and it is important for all areas of health and performance. But how in the world are we supposed to get in all that protein? And how much protein do we actually need? And what if I don't even eat meat? All those questions and more will be answered in today's episode. I'm going to break down what protein does, why you need it, how much you need, sources of protein, and easy options for on the go. So grab yourself a protein shake and let's go. Do you wish you could look like you train as much as you do? Are you sick of scouring the internet for sports nutrition tips only to find information tailored to men? Do you wish there was a simple solution to fueling your body for your activity level? Are you ready to find freedom with food? It is possible to have balance between fueling your body for your sport and for enjoyment, and it's not as complicated as you may think. Can we say hello, food freedom? There's a way to have it all and eat your cake too, and I'm going to show you how. Hey, I'm Kristen, a former multi-sport athlete, a sports dietitian, personal trainer, and Jesus lover. In this podcast, you will find practical, sustainable fueling tips for female athletes that will set you free from diet culture, an ever-changing set of nutrition rules, under-fueling, and underperforming. You'll learn how to put together a fueling plan that works for you, that doesn't require all the rules, tracking every morsel of food you consume, letting food consume your every thought, with Jesus at the center of it all. If you're ready to find a sustainable nutrition plan that works for you with your active lifestyle and is tailored to your unique physiology, break free from diet culture, and finally feel comfortable in your own skin, this podcast is for you. Whip up that smoothie, lace up your shoes, and let's jump in. So I get this all the time where females are telling me they want to know how to get in more protein into their day. And there's so much information about the importance of protein that's out there that sometimes it just gets overwhelming and confusing. And protein is really not one of those things that is always readily available. So today we're going to talk about protein on the go and quick tips for active women. Basically, how can you get in the protein that you need? How much protein do you actually need? And where are you going to get it from over the course of the day? So first of all, we're going to talk about what the importance is of protein for female athletes. So number one is muscle repair and recovery. So muscle repair is obviously just after your intense workout or a competition, protein is going to help to repair those damaged muscle fibers and reduce soreness and promote recovery. Muscle growth is going to come in where you are taking in adequate protein to support muscle growth, which is essential for improving strength and performance. So obviously enhanced performance is going to be next. Protein can serve as an alternative energy source during prolonged exercise, especially when carbohydrate stores are low. So that is not a free pass to eliminate carbohydrates and just take in a bunch of protein, because still protein is a very small amount of our total energy contribution for the day. But what it does mean is that when you are lifting weights for a long period of time, for example, your body is going to use some protein as a fuel source. So during endurance and strength, you're going to need sufficient protein intake to contribute to improved endurance and strength, and that's going to allow you to perform at your best. So number three would be immune function. So regular training can temporarily suppress the immune system, and protein is vital for the production of antibodies and immune cells, and that will help to keep you healthy by reducing the risk of illness. Next up is hormonal balance. We see this so much on the internet, regulating my hormones, but it is kind of a thing. So protein is essential for the production of hormones that regulate various bodily functions, and that includes your metabolism, muscle growth, and recovery, all of which hormones are responsible for. If you're not eating enough protein, also if you're not eating enough fat, it's going to suppress your hormonal balance. Next up is weight management. So protein is going to promote feelings of fullness or satiety, and that can help female athletes to manage their hunger and maintain a healthy weight. And also a higher protein intake is going to support fat loss while preserving lean muscle mass, and that's going to be important for overall athletic performance. Number 6 is nutrient absorption. So proteins play a role in transporting nutrients throughout the body, ensuring that the muscles and tissues receive the necessary fuel for optimal function. And last on the list, which probably most people don't even think about, is bone health. So adequate protein intake contributes to bone health, which is particularly important for female athletes who may be at risk for osteoporosis, especially in sports with a focus on weight management. So there are so many things that go into bone health. There's also calcium, making sure that you're eating enough. If you did not catch my episode on Red S, I highly recommend that you go back and listen to that episode, which I will drop the link below. But Red S is relative energy deficiency in sport, meaning if you are just not eating enough overall, guess what? Your bone density is going to decrease. If you're not taking in enough calcium, bone density is going to increase. Same thing with protein. So it's all interrelated. Okay, so now let's move on to understanding your protein needs. I think this is a big mystery because we just hear so much about protein, but like how much do we actually need? So for the general population, for sedentary women, you could just go with the RDA, which is the recommended daily allowance, which is 46 grams per day, which is so low to me, but we're not talking about sedentary women. We're talking about active women. So if you are an endurance athlete, you want 1.2 to 1.4 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So you're going to take your body weight in pounds divided by 2.2 to give you the kilograms that you need, and then you're going to multiply that by 1.2 to 1.4, and that will give you your total amount for the day. If you are a strength training athlete, then you're going to need a little bit more, so 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So again, take your weight in pounds divided by 2.2, and then you're going to multiply it by 1.6 to 2.2. So for an example here, if you weigh 143 pounds, that would be 65 kilograms. And if you are an endurance athlete, we're going to take that 65 kilograms, multiply it by 1.2 to 1.4. That's going to give us 78 to 91 grams of protein per day. Now, if you are the same weight, 143 pounds, you're going to be 65 kilograms, and you are a strength trained athlete, we're going to multiply that by 1.6 to 2.0, and that will give us 104 to 130 grams per day. Really, the only person that's going to need upwards of like 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight is going to be if you are like a bodybuilder or maybe a power lifter or something along those lines. So if that is you, then go ahead and multiply your weight by 2.2. So you kind of get the idea here. And obviously I'm giving you a range, but this is going to really come down to individual needs. So you're going to start somewhere and then tailor your protein intake based off of your individual goals, and then, how your body's responding, how you're feeling, your overall dietary patterns, things along those lines. Overall, though, we want to focus on the quality of protein. So you want to make sure that you are focusing on high quality protein sources, which include lean meats, fish, dairy, eggs, legumes, nuts, and whole grains. So you can certainly be a vegan and get in enough protein. It's just going to take a little bit more work. So we want to make sure that you're getting in a balanced diet and making sure that protein is an integral part of that balanced diet. So you don't want to eliminate carbohydrates because carbohydrates is just going to speed up muscle loss. So that's going to be counterproductive. So we want to make sure that we are getting in everything that we need. We're balancing that plate. And if you have not listened to my episode on balancing your plate, I highly suggest that you listen to that one as well. And I will drop the link for that below as well. So let's talk about differentiating between protein and animal proteins and plant-based proteins. So there are pros and cons to both, and the choice is really going to come down to personal preference, your nutritional needs, your overall health goals. Obviously if you are having an intolerance to a certain food, then you don't want to have that. Some people are not wanting to eat meat because of ethical reasons. Or maybe you need to eat meat because you are constantly running into problems where you're deficient in a certain mineral or vitamin. So let's talk about the pros of animal protein sources. So first off it's a complete protein. It's pretty easy. Most animal proteins like meat, fish, dairy, eggs are going to be a complete protein, meaning that they contain all 9 essential amino acids necessary for muscle repair and growth. They're going to have a high biological value, which means that animal proteins generally have or are more easily absorbed and utilized by the body compared to plant sources of protein. They're going to be rich in nutrients, so that would be things like B12, which is often something that vegans can be deficient in. Also iron and zinc, also vegans can be deficient in. Omega-3 fatty acids, which are important for overall health and athletic performance. Now, the cons could be that if you are eating factory-raised meat, just run-of-the-mill grocery store meat, then it's going to have a high level of saturated fat and not necessarily a good fat either. So if you are having meat that came from a cow that was pasture-raised and, they are primarily grass-fed, it actually changes the composition of the meat pretty significantly. It lowers the saturated fat, it lowers the cholesterol, even lowers the calories in the meat. And you're going to have a higher concentration of omega-3 fatty acids as opposed to factory farmed meat. So I understand the factory farmed meat is definitely going to be cheaper than farm raised meat. So I would suggest doing what you can here, but when you can afford to buy pasture raised meat, whether that is coming from a chicken or pork or beef, or even if you can get your hands on venison or elk or, some wild game, I highly suggest incorporating that more often than not. That is going to be healthier for you. And then, of course, some athletes are going to have, like I said, those ethical concerns. They just don't like the idea of eating something that was once alive. Now, plant protein sources, pros are going to be, they are diverse in nutrients. So plant proteins like legumes, nuts, seeds, whole grains, they're often rich in fiber, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, which can be a benefit to your overall health. They're going to be lower in saturated fat and cholesterol, which can promote heart health. However, like I said, if you are eating the grass-fed version or pasture-raised version of animal meats, it's going to be very healthy for your body as well. Also, variety and flexibility. You're going to have a wide range of plant protein sources, which is going to give you some creativity, but at the same time, that can kind of come back and bite you, because if you go out to a restaurant, they may only have one vegetarian or vegan option on the menu, or they may not have anything at all. So, it can be a pro, but it can also be a con. The downside to plant protein sources are they are incomplete proteins. Many plant proteins are considered incomplete, so that means that they are going to lack one or more essential amino acids. But if you combine those different sources, like rice and beans, for example, or peanut butter and bread or something like that, you can obtain all the essential amino acids. Also, they are going to have a lower biological value. So what that means is some plant proteins may be less efficiently absorbed by the body compared to animal proteins. My personal recommendation is, if you are willing to eat meat, I suggest that you eat meat, because it is going to give you that all your essential amino acids. It's going to be a high bioavailable nutrient to your body that you need, and it's going to give you all of those nutrients that you need, like B12, iron, zinc, and especially if you can focus on pasture-raised meat, it's going to be healthier for you overall, and then you can get in lots of other fruits and vegetables. However, if you just don't tolerate meat very well, or you don't want to eat it for whatever reason, like I said, you can certainly get in enough protein. It's just going to require a little bit more work. So let's talk about quick and easy protein sources, and there are lots of them. It just does require a little bit of planning ahead. So let's talk about animal-based protein sources first. So first off would be Greek yogurt. This is so easy to grab and go. You can add in different things. You can add in fruit, honey, maple syrup, some granola. The sky's the limit. You can make overnight oats with it. Lots of things that you could do with that. Cottage cheese, this is like the thing that broke the internet this year. So cottage cheese, you can basically incorporate into anything. Go on Pinterest, you can see all types of recipes with cottage cheese as a way to increase your protein intake. You can mix it in with snacks. I actually use cottage cheese and Greek yogurt as a base for veggie dip. So that's a great way to get in some protein over the course of the day as a snack. You can just eat it plain. You could put fruits on it. You can, like I said, incorporate it into other things. Like I've seen buffalo chicken dip, all types of things that you do with cottage cheese. Go on Pinterest. You'll find a million of them. Hard-boiled eggs. You can certainly find these at most grocery stores that are already made. You can easily make some yourself at home and then just pack them to bring with you somewhere. So they are very portable and they're perfect for just a quick protein boost. Also, canned tuna and salmon. I know that this used to be like a thing, years ago with bodybuilders, but be quite honest with you, it is like a genius little thing. You just have this little can. A lot of them now are pop tops, and if you can just get a fork or a spoon, all you have to do is just eat the tuna or the salmon out of the can, and then have something else with it, like maybe some crackers, some fruit, something like that, just to kind of balance out that meal or snack. Deli meats and rotisserie chicken are another one. Rotisserie chicken, I will say, is going to have more protein than deli meat does because it does have fillers in there. But certainly, if you just want something quick and easy, you could do like a deli roll-up. So get some turkey or some ham, roast beef, whatever, roll it up with some cheese. You could even put that in a wrap. Same thing with the rotisserie chicken. You can go to your grocery store or Costco and get a whole rotisserie chicken for $5. So you don't even have to do any work. You just have to go pick it up. Super easy. And that's something that you could kind of pick off of for the whole week. Also, protein shakes. I don't love going to protein shakes, but certainly it is an option. I would much rather you use real food, but protein shakes are something that are going to be very quick and easy. So I recommend using a whey protein isolate, especially around your workouts. And I really like Thorne's whey protein isolate. I will drop the link below for you on that one. Very easy. You can just mix it with water, or if you prefer doing that with milk, that is totally fine. String cheese or cheese sticks, I love these, as well as beef jerky. I really like Epic bars. Those are a great option as well. And there's tons of different options now as far as jerky goes on the market. And especially for someone like me that is gluten-free, lots of gluten-free options as well. So that's not off the table anymore. Now, if you are a vegetarian or a vegan and you need a plant-based source of protein, options would be things like nuts and seeds. Tons of those available. You can make your own little trail mix with that. Just mix it up yourself at home. Put it in a big bucket and then, scoop some out in a little baggie. There you go. Nut butters. I really like the little Justin's packets of nut butters. That's 2 tablespoons in a packet right there. And you can easily just eat it right out of the little package, or you could put it on some crackers, or you could, have it on a piece of bread if you happen to have that handy. Hummus is an option. It's not super high in protein, but it does have some protein in there from the chickpeas. So that is a good option that you could put that on like a whole grain pita or crackers or something like that. So you're combining your nutrients. Edamame is another good option. You could buy those in the freezer bags where you're just steaming them yourself, or a lot of grocery stores, and even I've seen them at gas stations. You can get those as well. Lentil or bean salads. This is something that you can make at home and easily just pack in a little container for yourself. Same thing with quinoa. Quinoa salads are great. You could throw lots of different vegetables in there, some nuts and seeds, dress it up, and you have a nice meal or a snack. Protein bars are a good option. So, I actually really like True Bars right now. Those are a vegan and gluten-free option. Now, they're a little bit lower on the protein side. They're only about 12 grams of protein, but they are a very convenient snack and they taste good. They're not gross like some of the other options that are out there. Also, you could do tofu or tempeh. Now, that one might not be quite as portable, but it is something that you could cook up ahead of time. And if you don't mind eating that cold, you could have it as a snack, like little pan-fried tofu sticks, or you could add it on top of a salad or even a sandwich. And then vegan protein powders. So I would recommend a pea protein isolate, and I really like Transparent Labs pea protein isolate, and I'll drop that link for you below as well. All right, so let's talk about some combination sources. Of course, you can put plant sources with the animal sources together. So that would be like a wrap with some deli meat, cheese, and hummus, and some vegetables, and that would make a convenient meal or even a snack. Smoothies, you can blend up some protein powder. It could be a vegan protein powder, or it can be a whey protein powder with fruits, vegetables, yogurt, milk, and that would give you a high protein snack that you could really have anywhere. You could bring that into a meeting, or you could bring that into a class, or, take it in your car, whatever you have going on. Also, chilies or stews. This probably doesn't seem like a very portable option, but it is a great option for if you are at work, you need something quick and easy. You could totally batch cook that in an Instant Pot or a slow cooker, and then all you have to do is put some in a little container, and you have a nice protein-rich lunch, or even a dinner option as another option for you. Okay, so meal prepping here is really going to be key, and that is really something for another podcast episode, but I highly recommend investing in a slow cooker or an Instant Pot to help you out with all of this, and really trying to make a bunch of things up front to help you throughout the week. So what are some common challenges that we are going to face when it comes to protein? One is time constraints. You're juggling training, work, personal responsibilities, and that can make it difficult. But if you can dedicate one day, or even maybe one day on the weekend and one day during the week where you can prep some of these ahead of time, I promise it'll make your life so much easier. You might feel like lack of options is a problem, but like I said, there are tons of things that you can incorporate, that you can bring with you, that I just listed off. And if you are traveling in an airport, lots of these little convenience stores in there are going to have options available for you, or you can always pack some protein bars with you, or put a little baggie of protein powder in your travel bag, and then all you need to do is stop at a water fill-up station to, get you some water, so then you can make your protein shake. Meal planning and preparation. So like I said, busy schedules are going to be a problem for everybody, and that causes us to rely on convenience foods. But like I said, if you can do a little bit of meal prepping up front, that's going to help you. Now, you might also be thinking, I don't have money to buy all these high protein foods. And yes, meats are going to be the most expensive option. However, if you are combining your plant sources of protein as well as your meat sources of protein, it does make it a lot cheaper. And then also, if you are prioritizing your protein over snacks, like junky snacks and alcohol and other things that you might be wasting money on, it will actually help you out, and you will see that it's not going to be that hard or that difficult to get in the protein. So I highly suggest you go and evaluate where you're spending your money when you are grocery shopping. So like I said, I highly suggest doing some batch cooking or meal prepping ahead of time. Get some little containers that you can put things in. Utilize different supplements like the protein bars and the protein powders if you can't get in actual food. And then plan ahead. Know how much you need to be taking in terms of protein over the course of the day. And then divide that out over the number of times that you're going to eat in the day. So if you plan on having 3 meals and 2 snacks, then you're just going to divide your number by 5. If you are going to have just 3 meals, then you're just going to divide your number by 3. You get the idea. So just doing a little bit of planning ahead is really going to carry a lot of weight and really help you through this whole process. So if you feel like you're not really sure how to go about doing all this, how to actually realistically get in all this protein that you need, how to do it over the course of the day and the weeks and the months and all that, I highly suggest that you check out my program, the Sustainable Sports Nutrition Academy. So that program will walk you through everything you need to know about figuring out your protein needs plus your other nutrient needs, how to meal prep them all, how to know what foods to keep on hand in your refrigerator, your pantry, your freezer, how to balance your meals and your snacks so that you're able to get it all in. So all you need to do is click on the link that is down in the show notes for the Sustainable Sports Nutrition Academy, and you can actually check out that program for just $1 for 2 weeks to see if it's a good fit for you. So I hope this episode helped you today and it resonated with you and you got something out of it. And if so, please write me a review. I really, really appreciate that because that is going to help to make this show more viewable to other people. So I can help more people. I can spread more knowledge to people, and I can help all those female athletes out in the world fuel their bodies for better performance and health. Hey friend, if this podcast inspired you, encouraged you, or changed you, I would love for you to leave me a review and share it with a girlfriend who will find it helpful or inspiring. That is the best way you can thank me and help me share my knowledge so I can help more people just like you. I'm so thankful that you spent this time with me today, and I'd love to connect with you. Join my Facebook group, Female Sports Nutrition, or send me a DM on Instagram, or hop on over to my website, elitenutritionperformance.com. I'll see you back here next week.